The snake goddess is one of many examples of similar sculptures. And here we see some of those examples. These are probably goddess forms, and we see them from anywhere from Egypt to New Kingdom, which could be influenced by the Minoans or vice versa, all the way through Minoan society. And this was found at the palace at Knossos. So it's a beautiful piece. What we have is a woman holding two snakes. We have the head and body shown. They're painted. This is ceramic. Her breasts are out on display, probably related more towards fertility than sexuality. And we have a cat on her head, which is awkward and fairly difficult to explain because cats are essentially evil, although they could be just as dangerous as snakes, and that's why it's there, but we'll get into that. Now, the piece is actually made of faience. This is a low-fire glass-like structure. And so what they're doing is they're taking powdered quartz, they're firing it. This takes much lower heating than pure glass. And it comes together, it bonds together, but it doesn't get the translucence. It tends to be an opaque form. So it's a low-fire glass that can be used to make small objects, usually by using a mold of some form. And here we see the snake goddess. Now, the head was missing for a while. It was separated from the piece, which may describe why the head, the color of the face, is different than the rest of the body. We do see her wearing some kind of dress or costume, probably reflective at least of Minoan ideals of dress. And we have a very frontal image. So it's really only meant to be seen from the front. It's also, you could argue it's either very dynamic or very rigid. Sort of depends on how you want to look at it. Rigid in terms of it doesn't seem to be moving. Dynamic in that we know that the snakes and the arms probably are in fact moving. And the style is typically Minoan. So we have a very cinched waist. We have a very tall, elegant, graceful figure. The limbs are a little bit longer than we would otherwise expect. And scholars argue about what it may actually represent, whether this is some kind of mortal attendant to a deity, in other words, a priestess, or whether this is the deity itself. The breasts are probably there again as a fertility symbol, giving us the sense of yet another female fertility form, like the Venus of Willendorf, like Inanna, like other forms that we have seen. So again, let me remind you that the depiction of breasts is typically not sexual until we get really into about the 18th, 19th century, late 18th century. So we haven't gotten anywhere near that yet. Usually it is largely symbolic, as is likely the case here.